Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well. This is Josh Bugby, Outreach and Evangelism Pastor from Danville First Assembly. I just want to share my heart with you, and my plan is to go ahead and do a couple of these devotionals whenever I can when I'm in the office. So just first and foremost, just wanted to let everyone that's Westville area and also Danville area that probably in the next 2 years there's a process that's being worked out where my wife and I will be planting a church in Westville somewhere, and we're going to name our church Grace Life Assembly, and so be praying about that. And also, if you guys are interested in checking out a church before then, please come and check out Danville First Assembly just off of Walnut Street in Danville. Today I want to talk a little bit about voids, and I have a Lord of the Rings little cup. It's kind of empty, and just to be quite honest, there's times in my life that I felt like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Is there a reason for me existing? And, in life we can fill our voids or our life with different things that are kind of meaningless, or we can fill our life with something that kind of fills that heart-shaped purpose, I guess, in our hearts. So if you were to view this red hanky as God or God's love, I think this would represent purpose. This would also represent who you are and what God has purposed you to be. And I think probably for the most part that most of us, we walk around this life and we're thinking, I really wish that my life would just amount to something. And just to be quite honest, that's kind of where I was. And I kept filling this area with just things that had no purpose in life or meaning. And until the good news was shared to me of Jesus Christ, and what God really wants to do is He wants to fill us, and He wants to take away the different emotions that we have that we feel like we're not really going anywhere in life. And what He wants to do is He wants to cover us, and He wants to show us how real He is. So the neat thing is after having God's covering in our life, we get used to knowing who He is and a personal relationship that we have. But it's something more than that, because in life we're not perfect. We make mistakes, and then mistakes are called sin. But the neat thing is God sent His Son to cover our lives and to cover that sin by His blood. And so when we walk out our life with Christ covering us, and this happens, people tend to look underneath and say, yeah, but I see that there's something underneath there. And I think after a while of when spiritual maturity begins to develop and take place, we allow God to fill us and fill our lives with purpose. And basically what happens is He becomes Christ in us, the hope of glory. And I think that's where the fruit of the Spirit is developed, when we are in sync and we are in unison with the Lord. So I just want to share that little illustration and prop to you. It's just kind of simple, but I remember what it used to be like, me being just real empty and putting things in my life that didn't mean much, didn't matter too much, and then Christ filling me up and giving me purpose and giving me reason to live. So I hope that that is helpful to you. And I just wanted to read a scripture that I found, and just put this down like this so I can read it. It's found in 1 Peter 1:18, and it says, "For you know that it was not with perishable things such as silver or gold that you were redeemed from the empty way of life handed down to you from your forefathers. Now, basically what that means to me is that there's an empty way of living, there's an empty way of life, and rather if that's something that has been passed down from tradition or just something we pick up along the way, we have to understand that Christ, when He died, He paid that penalty, He paid that ransom, sin. And the cool thing is we have to understand that we've been redeemed, that we've been bought by His blood. And I think that's the very nature that Christ, what He wants to do is He wants to fill us up with purpose and let us know that there's no longer a need for empty living because He's developed great purpose in our life. So I hope that's helpful to you. And if you want to jot that down in the Bible or maybe find that scripture, that's in 1 Peter 1:18. And I hope that, like I said, is very helpful to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to post on Facebook, maybe something that you have been wondering about and maybe need a little bit of direction, maybe some questions. Feel free to jot that down, and I would love to respond back to you and give you a clear direction or definition or some understanding of Scripture, if that would help. So God bless you guys. I hope you guys have a great day. And this is Pastor Josh signing off and saying God's dream lives in you. Pursue every bit of that in your life.